Hi friends, today at Garfin's Creation, I'll be showing you how to make this taco shaped sandwich bread. Along with that, one paneer filling and one Goan sausage filling. The detailed recipe is in the description box below. So let's start making the bread first. To make the bread, we'll activate the yeast first. I have taken 3/4 cup of water, that is 150 ml. I have taken lukewarm water and I've added 1 tablespoon of green sugar. Just mix that a little and be adding 2 teaspoons of dry yeast. We can also use instant yeast here, but I always like to activate my yeast first to make sure that my bread will rise well later. So I'll just mix that as well, and I will cover this and let this get activated and leave it there for around 5 to 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, the yeast is activated. Now to this I'll be adding all-purpose flour. I'll be adding 2 cups of maida, that is all-purpose flour. We'll sieve that well and then be adding 1 teaspoon of salt. I will just mix that with a spoon so that it all comes together. Once that is mixed with the spoon, I will just use my hands now and knead this into a nice soft dough. To make this bread even more softer, you can add 1 whole egg into it. This is a very basic bread recipe and you can use it for other purpose as well. Now I'll just be adding 1 or 2 tablespoons more lukewarm water and just knead it again. The water quantity will depend on the flour used. So depending on the flour, you might require more or less water. So I've just added 2 tablespoons of water and now the dough is nice and soft. I'll just transfer this on the counter. The dough is easy to handle and it's not too very sticky. Just get it together, and now onto this I'll be adding 1 tablespoon of butter. In place of butter, you could also add 1 tablespoon of oil here. I have used room temperature butter, and now I will continue kneading this for around 8 to 10 minutes till the dough is nice, soft and smooth. If you have a stand mixer, you can use that for kneading this bread as well. This may look messy, but as you keep kneading it, it will eventually start getting dry and the dough will be nice and soft. To make the bread soft, you require enough moisture in the dough. So gradually, as you keep kneading for around 8 to 10 minutes, the dough comes together and it becomes less sticky. Now after 10 minutes, just gather it together and form a round ball by tucking it inwards from the bottom. Now into the same bowl that we had used earlier, I'll be adding some oil so that the dough does not stick to it after it rises again. Apply some oil to the dough as well and place it into the bowl. We will now need to cover this well and place it in a warm place so that it rises up soon. Depending on the weather, this might take an hour or so. While the dough is set to rise, let's prepare the paneer filling first. For that, I've heated a pan and added 1 tablespoon of oil. And once the oil is hot enough, I'll be adding 1 large onion that is finely chopped. And we'll just fry this onion for about 2 minutes. We do not have to brown the onions. We will just cook it till it's a little bit soft. This paneer recipe is very easy and it tastes really good when added to the taco sandwich bread. So now after a minute or so, the onions are a bit soft and I'll be adding 1 medium-sized tomato that too has been finely chopped. I also added half a teaspoon of salt and I'll give that a nice mix. You can adjust the salt later too as per your liking. After mixing the tomato, I'll also be adding 1 small capsicum that has been cubed into small pieces. Now we'll just fry this for a few seconds. We do not have to overcook the veggies. This will give a good texture when you have the crunchiness of the veggies and the soft taco bread. So after stirring this for a few seconds, I've added 1 teaspoon of soya sauce and be adding 2 tablespoons of Schezwan chutney. You can use any brand of Schezwan chutney that is available. And now just give this a quick stir. And then now, after mixing this for a few seconds as well, I will be adding half a cup of sweet corn. These sweet corn kernels were boiled and kept, so I'll be adding half a cup of that into this mix. So mix that as well, and then we'll be adding our main ingredient, that is 200 grams of paneer. I have cubed this into smaller pieces, and now all we have to do is just mix all of it together. We will just mix this and let it cook for 2 minutes. This paneer recipe is not that spicy. If you want it a little more spicier, you can add 1 more tablespoon of Schezwan chutney here. So now our paneer filling is ready. We'll just give it a last quick stir and keep it aside. Next we'll prepare the non-veg filling. For this recipe, I'll be using some Goan sausages. So I've just heated a pan again and added 1 tablespoon of cooking oil into it. And once the oil is hot, to this I'll be frying in some potatoes. I have cut 1 large potato just like the French fries. These are a little bit more thinner as compared to the normal French fries. I made it into a smaller size so that it fries well and quickly. And we'll just add this to the oil and just fry this for about 2 minutes. I have not added any salt to these fries, as we'll be later frying this along with the Goan sausages as well, and then we'll be adjusting the salt later. The potatoes are almost cooked, that is, it's not entirely cooked, it's almost 80% done. We'll be cooking the rest of it later. So we'll just keep these potatoes aside for some time. And into the same pan and the same remaining oil, I'll be adding 2 medium-sized onions that are sliced, 1 dark green chilli finely chopped, and 1 large tomato that has been sliced. And our main ingredient, Goan sausages. I've just removed the skin out and have taken 1 cup of the meat. Add that too into the onions and tomatoes and give it a good mix. I have not used any water for cooking these Goan sausages, but if you feel your meat is a bit tough and requires little water, you can add 1/4 cup of water into this. We will cover and cook this on low flame for around 15 to 20 minutes and also keep stirring this in between. So now, after cooking this for around 15 to 20 minutes, the meat is cooked enough, and now it's time to adjust the salt as well. You can taste accordingly and add your salt. I've just added a pinch, and now we'll be also adding the French fries that we had fried before. Just mix it all together and let this just fry for around 1 minute, and then our sausage filling will be ready. This Goan sausage filling is really very delicious. So we'll keep this aside for some time and check on with the bread dough. Before we could proceed with shaping the bread, we will just prepare the bread tin first. This is a 7x3 cake loaf tin. I'm just using some oil to grease it well below the paper and at the sides and on top of the baking paper as well. This will help in releasing the bread well once it is baked. So now we'll keep this aside and check on to our bread dough. Depending on the weather, this has taken me 1.5 hours to get double in size. I'll just take it out from the bowl and place it on the table. I'll just press it lightly so that all the excess air comes out. The bread dough is nice, soft and fluffy. I'll just roll it a little and divide it into portions so that it is easier to handle. This one portion, further I will divide it into 3 equal parts. So we'll make a total of 6 portions from the total amount of the dough. We can use the same recipe and make a whole sandwich bread by putting the same dough into a sandwich loaf tin. I'll just divide this equally into 3 parts, or you can also weigh and make it into equal portions. I will just roll these around. While you're working on a portion of the dough, it's better to keep the remaining dough covered under a piece of cloth so that it does not get dried. You can roll all the 6 dough round like this and keep it covered under the cloth. And then using one portion, I will just roll it long in an oval shape to give it a shape of a taco when folded. After rolling the dough and giving it an oval shape, if it comes back, no problems, you can just stretch it with your hands and make it a little longer. And now we will just fold this into half and put it in the loaf tin. So now similarly, all the 6 portions will have to be made in the same oval shape and then folded into half and placed in this loaf tin. Using the same technique, you can make garlic pull apart bread too. You can just add some garlic butter between the folds and then place it in the loaf tin, just one next to the other. Now similarly, the next one too, I'll be placing in the loaf tin, but before that, I'll be just using some aluminum foil. This will separate the pieces from each other so that they can be released easily once they are baked. You can add a silver foil or baking paper also. This aluminum foil or baking paper will keep them separated from each other so it's easily to pull them out once they are baked. So now continue rolling the dough in a long oval shape and then folding it like a taco shape and placing it in the loaf tin. Once you have placed all the 6 portions in the loaf tin, we will need to let this rise again. So the second proofing time will also depend on the weather. So this will take around 30 to 40 minutes to rise up a little. I will just place a cloth over this and keep it in a warm place to rise once more. So this has taken me around 40 minutes to rise up again. We can see the bread has got a little fluffy. So I'll just use a little milk and brush it over so that it gets a nice brown color once it's baked. You can also beat up an egg and use it as an egg wash to get the bread browning from the top. You will also need to preheat your oven at least 10 minutes before at 180 degrees centigrade. And I'll be using both the heating coils on and will bake this for around 20 to 22 minutes at 180 degrees centigrade in the middle rack. So this bread took me around 22 minutes to be baked and to get a nice golden brown on top. Once out of the oven, I will just brush some butter on top of it. This will help to keep the bread crust soft on top. After applying the butter and it is still hot, I'll just place the cloth over it for some 5 to 10 minutes so that the crust remains nice and soft. After 10 minutes, the tin is still hot. I'll just pull out the bread and keep it on the cooling rack to cool out further. I will just remove the baking paper from below and also the aluminum foils from in between the bread slices. We can see it is well baked from all sides. By placing the aluminum foil in between, you are able to separate the breads from each other without much problem. After separating them, we will let them cool completely on the cooling rack. So our breads are well baked and they look perfect like a taco shape, ready to be filled in. So once the breads are completely cold, we will try and open them up. I'll just use a knife and open up the slits. They open up easily, but make sure not to separate the bread at the bottom, and it has to be intact. So I'll do the same for all of the breads before we could start filling them. So it's time to fill the taco sandwich bread. I've taken some iceberg salad leaves and we have our 2 fillings ready, the pork sausage and the paneer filling too. So just take the bread and put 2 pieces of the salad leaves at the sides and we'll put the filling in between the salad leaves. You can add some sauces, ketchups, mayonnaise in between this along with the filling as well. I prefer them without the sauces So I just put the filling in between them. You could also add some grated cheese or some mayo also on top of it. So this, our taco sandwich bread, is well dressed and ready to be served. So I'll fill one more of the paneer filling too. Besides the iceberg lettuce, you can use other salad leaves as well, whichever is readily available. So there, our second paneer taco sandwich is also ready. And this is one where I have drizzled some mayo over it. So continue filling all the taco sandwiches in the same way. These not only look good but are really very delicious as well. So do give this recipe too a try and let me know how you liked it in the comments below. Thanks for watching and do subscribe to Garfin's Creation, and I'll see you soon in the next video too. Till then, take care. Bye bye.